Now, one of McSweeney's obsessions was the Canary, an alt-left website, alt-left, really weird thing to say, that had seemed to appear from nowhere and grown to a peak of 8.5 million hits a month. Moreover, Corbyn supporters trusted the site equally to The Guardian, their other favourite source of information. And so McSweeney had an aim: to schmooze The Guardian and kill the Canary. Destroy the Canary or the Canary destroys us, he told the Labour Together MPs. Now, that's very, very interesting. Some of you may know I used to work for the Canary. Now, my time there was around 2021 onwards, so I was there for a few years. This obviously was not during the time when Labour Together were trying to destroy the Canary. But what I can tell you from the Canary, and this is, look, I want to paint a picture here for a second, right? It's not a media outlet that has a lot of money, and over the years, less and less money has gone to the Canary because people can't afford to donate to it. Now, every single time there was a Conservative budget, we would get emails from supporters who would say, I really support what you're doing, but I have to cancel my subscription because I've just seen the Conservative budget and they're hammering people on welfare, and I'm on welfare. And they had to cancel because they couldn't afford to support the Canary. Now, the readers of the Canary were the sort of content that we were appealing to: the working class, disabled and sick people, people who were on welfare and universal credit. It was truly a working class publication, and you had Morgan McSweeney surrounded by rich bellends trying to shut down the Canary, a publication that wasn't just for the working class, but many of us involved in it were working class who had many struggles such as chronic illnesses, many people who had been on universal credit. I had been on universal credit myself. We were not rich. We were paid £12 an hour because that's all we could afford to pay ourselves. We wanted to pay ourselves more, but we couldn't afford it. We were almost hanging on by the teeth for a very long time. And Labour Together wanted to destroy the Canary, destroy so many people's livelihoods who depended on it. Not just readers, but those who worked there, because it supported Jeremy Corbyn. It's absolutely pathetic and it's disgusting. I couldn't imagine, right, the Conservative Party and having some Conservative MP say, we're going to try and destroy Conservative Home, or even an even smaller right-wing publication. Imagine there was a group of Conservative activists. There's like 10 people. And they started up a website, really low budget. They're only just getting by. And, all right, it's a bit critical of some Conservative politicians, but it also, I don't know, supported Boris Johnson, supported Suella Braverman, all these figures, right? Could you imagine a faction within the Conservative Party said, we need to not just destroy Boris Johnson and these figures, we also need to destroy anything that's connected to him, or anything that supports him. We're going to destroy this publication that still wants to see a Conservative government, right? I couldn't imagine that. And I don't think that happens because at the end of the day, the Conservatives love power. They may absolutely tear themselves to pieces. There may be factionalism within the party, but come an election, they will back whoever is the leader and they will try their best to win. It just shows that the Labour Party are way, way more corrupt than the Conservative Party. Don't get me wrong, the Tories are corrupt, but Labour are far, far worse, which is something that Liberals do not like, right? Liberals love talking about corruption when it's the Conservative Party and ignore it when it's the Labour Party. And the idea that I will be saying that Labour are more corrupt than the Tories, they would have a brain aneurysm. They'd be like, that's insane. The Conservative Party, they're the bad party. I'm sorry to say they're both bad parties, but the Labour Party are worse. Yes, you heard that. There are better people in the Labour Party than the Conservatives. On policy, more often than not, they are generally better, apart from Keir Starmer. His policies are exactly the same. But the people inside it, the culture inside it, far worse than the Tories. There were many reasons why the publication isn't as popular as it is anymore. A lot of it is algorithms changing, especially algorithms favouring legacy media, not independent media. That's one thing. There was a huge campaign to try and destabilise and destroy the Canary financially, which was, I think it was either headed or she was largely involved, and that was Rachel Riley, a bunch with other people who tried to get ads pulled from the Canary because apparently the Canary was anti-Semitic and they were pushing misinformation. Well, I've got a fact for you. The Canary is regulated by Impress, so they don't lie. They don't put out misinformation. It's more trusted than many mainstream outlets. It has a higher ranking than some of our mainstream outlets, and they have very little retractions or having to apologize for anything they've done wrong. But Rachel Riley, who was a Zionist, who is right-wing, didn't like the fact that the Canary is staunchly anti-Zionist and is pro-Palestine. That's it. And it supported Jeremy Corbyn. They're the two main things why there were forces with money behind it who wanted to destroy the Canary. And as we saw in this article, Morgan McSweeney was worried about the Canary. He thought it was going to destroy right-wing politics in the Labour Party. So he thought, we need to get on the front foot and destroy them. So clearly there was big money interests to get rid of the Canary. And it worked because so many ads were pulled because they were tarred with the same anti-Semitic brush. But guess what? Subsequent to this adpocalypse, there was an investigation conducted by Impress to see whether the Canary was actually anti-Semitic. And do you know what it found? That it wasn't. It found that actually it was just anti-Israel. It attacked the institutions and it attacked apartheid Israel. It attacked a state, but it did not attack Jewish people. It found that. So Rachel Riley lied, many other people lied, and guess what? Many people lost their jobs at the Canary, and the Canary is no longer as big as it used to be. So they were successful, and it's so pathetic, all because they hated Jeremy Corbyn. Now, this article is going to further explain what I just said to you then. One source said that the aim was to shame people out of being part of Facebook groups with unacceptable content, but argued that it wasn't really working. So, next, they took aim at news websites they considered to be alt-left or alt-right, again, calling the Canary alt-left is insane, including, perhaps not surprisingly, the Canary, as part of a Stop Funding Fake News campaign. They took screenshots of articles they felt, by the way, no evidence, but they felt had either racist or fake content, then posted images on Twitter aimed at brands they were advertising on the website's pages. Unquestionably, the readership of the Canary took a hit. In an editorial, the website noted that people who don't like our politics have encouraged our advertisers to blacklist us. That's come at a cost. Its contributors' coverage, it argued, had been targeted at Israel and not Jewish people, true, and said it had been smeared with accusations of anti-Semitism, true. However, the result would be a much leaner Canary newsroom with a dedicated team of 7 staff members rather than a network of freelance writers. So they were successful and the Canary was completely hollowed out. Still exists today, but it's not what it was back then.
Patreon.com, Turn Left Media. Support independent media. Support social justice that's there on social media. Thank you, Turn Left.